Hi, this is Steve Barton for Solid Rock Machine Shop Incorporated. Today we want to go over some techniques to take thin plates of steel and grind them really flat. If you have any grinding experience at all, you know that this is quite difficult to do. This plate measures 135 thousandths thick, and if Adam will zoom up on this, we can see that even though it's ground, it is not flat. We got about 1.5 thou that it's messed up on. If you tap both ends, you can see there's a bowl that this is rocking. And so we'll show a technique for getting this flat. Technique basically is you take a piece of towel, you take it, pair of scissors, and just cut out the general shape. We'll set this here for a moment. We'll turn our three-phase converter on. And go over to the surface grinder and get it prepared. And be very careful around the grinding wheel. And make sure that you don't get your hands too close. That wheel is very sharp, and it'll cut flesh very easily. But you want to get your table wiped off. One of the things that people will do, they'll take a plate like this, they'll grind one side, they'll flip it, grind it, they'll flip it, and then they'll turn their variable magnet on, and they'll go with as light as the magnet as they dare, try to working that warp out. But when you're doing a thin plate, no matter how light you get the magnet, you can't get some of that bowl out. Another technique you want to be careful about is if you have this setting up like so, you start grinding as the wheel comes across over here, it's generating a lot of heat because it's in the cut for a long time. Another trick people will use is they'll turn the part sideways, and then as the wheel crosses back and forth, it's never in the cut for that much time. It takes longer because you're traveling more this way to come over, but you're generating less heat. The wheel I'm using is an RA 46 grit. It's an H bonding, which is kind of soft, and it's an open structure on it. By using that particular wheel, that will go a long ways in reducing the heat that you're going to have built up in this part. Then even under the best conditions, when you get under a thin plate, it's still really hard to get really flat. When that happens, you can just take this piece of towel that you cut, place your part on it, kick it at a little bit of an angle, apply all the tricks. We'll turn our magnet on reduced speed. You can see I can move way too easy. If I try to cut this right now, I would just fling this part right off. It would not be a very pretty thing to see. So we'll increase the magnetism until I'm comfortable. Now I'll be taking light cuts, but I can feel I'm comfortable with that right now. Now when I turn this coolant on, the coolant will go on and the paper towel will suck it up and it gets softer. And what will happen is that this will come down a little bit more. And the theory is what will happen is that paper gives the parts that are bowled like this will come down further on the paper in the middle will support it, and so when I grind this, I can take most of that bow out. I'm about to turn our coolant tank on. Our coolant motor generates a lot of noise, so you just have to bear with me. We get the paper wet. We turn it out for a little bit while I touch off. There, I can see sparks. I'll set my digital, and I know that I got the bullets high in the middle, so I'm going to back off by about 2 thousandths. And then I'm going to come across there carefully. See if I hit high in the middle. I'm just hitting now in the middle. About a half thou at a time, take light shots. Almost cleaned up. We are almost 100% clean up. You notice I took a blank pass backwards on my semi-finished pass just to take a little bit more out. I'm going to reset my digital 0. On my finished pass, I'm only going to take about 2 10 thousandths of an inch. This will settle. It's only 1/10 right now. We'll see what happens. Just settled. What's that? Looks like we have just a little spot in the corner. We have just a little spot over here on the corner. What we'll do now is we'll not use paper, but we'll flip this over. Looks like their scraper broke. When we flip it over, we're not going to put it under paper. We took most of the bow out. Get everything nice and clean. Turn it at the angle. And now I'm going to turn it on full magnet because I want this other side to match this side. Make sure it's sticking. I like to put marker on there. Kind of helps me find the low spots. Again, we'll just take light touch, 5/6. Actually, I'm going to have to retouch because I took the paper out. So it's sitting lower. Back up too, just to come across, just to see where we're at. That should have been the high spot. I had to come all the way down one because I know that was a high spot. Going down 5/10 at a time. You may have to repeat this process to get it really flat. We'll see how close we got it at this point. And if you remember, we had over 1.5 thou bow in it before. You can see we got just a little tiny dip. On that side. Probably within 2/10. That little simple trick, we went from 1.5 thou to within 2/10,000ths of an inch. And you can get this even closer. At this point, you can dress the wheel off. If you heard the wheel, I can tell by listening that it's loading up a little bit, dulling. I'd have to redress my wheel. And at this point, being that close, I can probably go back with a light magnet with a fresh dress wheel and just flip it a couple more times. I could probably take that 1/10 or 2 out without no problem. I can always cut some more paper, pop it underneath there, and take more out. But there's just a simple technique to demonstrate how easy it is to take that bow out of a thin plate like that. Well, that's going to be it for today. If you like this video, subscribe and stay tuned. We plan on bringing some more tips and tricks on a weekly basis.